We had another call recently from a very wealthy lady who lived in Newport Beach. Her husband was a CEO, no. I was trying to not say something, and because I did that, I said it wrong. Okay, her husband was a CEO, very wealthy. They lived in Newport Beach. What I wasn't going to say was that I knew they were wealthy because they lived in Newport Beach, and one of our speakers lives in Newport Beach. But see, I was trying so hard not to say that, I just goofed it all up. Anyway, so she called and said her husband had this big job at the company, and that she was crying, always crying, and she was crying, and she says, oh, we're having this big party for my son who's graduating from a big school in the East, and we've hired a famous singer to come, and we had 500 people for a sit-down dinner. We're having this wonderful welcoming home party because he's graduating with honors. And then we're going to take the people out on our yacht at night, and we're going to show them the harbor. And she told me all this, 500 people. And then she said, but yesterday my husband found out that the son is a homosexual. And so he canceled the party. He says he never wants them home again. He said he just hates homosexuals. We've heard before that many Christians are known for the fact that they hate homosexuals, so he was typical of some of that. And she said, oh, I don't know what to do. I mean, we got this 500 people coming, and we were. And I said, well, who's going to be canceling these 500 people at the dinner? She said, well, I guess I will. I said, well, you have to put a note in the paper, I suppose. How would you cancel 500 people in 2 weeks? And she said, oh, I don't know what to do. And she said, I just spent a little bit of time sharing with her. And then she said, well, my husband already canceled the reservation. I said, okay, now you calling me and you asking me. If people would listen to me, they would get well, but they don't listen to me. First thing you do is you call the Marriott Hotel and get that reservation back again, because they're going to use it for graduation or wedding. Get that room back again. Keep that going. You shove a sock in your mouth and put a smile on your face, and you have that party, and you make it a wonderful welcoming home party. Take the people on their little yacht and see the harbor, whatever they do, and then the next day, you and your son and your husband get on the boat yourself. Take lifesavers so you don't kill each other. And listen to your son. Listen to what pain he's had, and listen to him. And listen to the pain he's been through, which I didn't do that, and that's why I lost my son for 11 years. You don't have to clap. I don't have time anyway, so that's okay. And so I tried to tell her all these things that I thought would help. And she said, well, would you talk to my husband? I said, well, don't tell him my address, but have him call me. But I'll talk to him on the phone, but I don't want to talk to him in person. He was so irate. So I got a call in a couple hours from this very irate father. And he said, what's the idea of you telling my wife to have this party for this pervert? And he went on and used all kind of language that I don't like to hear. And he just really lit into me, and I let him drain a little bit of his pain. And then finally, I explained what had happened to me and how, because of my ignorance and lack of showing unconditional love, my son disappeared for 11 years. That was all my fault. And I explained all that to him. And I said, now this boy, your son, it's the only son you have. The only son you have. If you cancel this party and you reject him now, you're going to lose him. You are going to lose him. You've got to love him. Not sloppy agape that says, oh, just do your own thing, I just love you. But the kind of love that says, I'm going to love you and I'm going to pray for you. And you have the party, shut your mouth, then take him on the trip. The next day, listen to him. And I guarantee that this boy, this is only a part of his life. This is not his whole life. He's the same boy that you raised and trained and paid to get this education. He's the same boy. This is an area of his life that you're going to have to learn to deal with, and he's going to have to deal with it, but you're the ones going to have to love him unconditionally. Well, I gave him about an hour and a half, about $100 worth of counsel, I guess, free. And I thought to myself, well, I shot everything I knew. I mean, if everything I've ever learned in 20 years, if he didn't get it, that's not my fault. I tried, Lord. 2 days later, I got a call from the young man in New York, and he wanted to know if I would like to come to his party.